Hello. Welcome in to another one of these. I was doing post game shows for Padres Dodgers last weekend. I thought I deserve to do one after a Padres win. So here's one after tonight's game, a 2-1 Padres win at Petco Park in front of the Friar faithful, if you will. And this was a much better game, a much better environment, and a lot closer to what I was hoping for or expecting last weekend at Dodger Stadium. So, good things to say, good things to say. Thank you, everyone who's here, who's watching. There's a chat room. If you guys get crazy again, I will just end the stream like I did last time because that was annoying. Hopefully, this is just a short little recap of a very fun game. And then we'll all get out of here and get on with our Friday evenings. Darren Smith has informed me he will not be joining me. He has other plans tonight, which is totally fine. I don't. So here I am. Okay, first and foremost, this was a pitching win for the San Diego Padres. There was some good fielding in there, but this was a pitching win for the San Diego Padres. You Darvish, I think it's only right to start by talking about you Darvish. Yes, Chris, a lot better result. You Darvish last week at Dodger Stadium in the first inning of that game, I believe he gave up 4 earned runs and 2 home runs, and it looked really bad. And then he pitched, I think, 3 more innings after that and gave up like no hits, no runs, I think no walks, struck out a few. And I noticed that. I noticed that he had a really terrible first inning and then was very good from that point on. And the other thing that I noticed is that Freddie Fermin, who was catching him, took over the pitch calling duties after that first inning at Dodger Stadium. Darvish is, I guess, was the only pitcher on the staff that would call his own pitches on the Padres staff. He had the little buttons on his belt. He'd reach over, boop, 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 and then just throw a pitch. And I always thought it was really cool that he did that. But for whatever reason, after that first inning at Dodger Stadium, it switched, and you would see Freddie Fermin, boop, 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 pressing little buttons on his, leg gear, leg guard, catching gear. And ever since that happened, Yu Darvish has looked incredible. He's been almost unhittable. He gave up 1 hit in 6 innings tonight. Now, unfortunately, that hit was a home run. The first home run in the career of, what's this kid's name? Alex Freeland? Alex Freeland. It wasn't cheap. It was a breaking ball that Yu Darvish hung left right in the middle of the strike zone. Boom, Freeland crushed it. But I would argue that outside of that one pitch that Darvish threw poorly, he was outstanding. He was incredible. And he pitched 74 pitches, threw 74 pitches over 6 innings. I know there was some debate over whether or not he should have been granted the 7th inning. They didn't need him. They have lots of relief pitchers who are really good. They didn't need Yu Darvish to overextend himself. He gave them 6 innings of 1 hit, unfortunately, 1 run, given up ball. And the Padres picked him up with their offense in the 4th inning. It was really the only inning where the Padres did much of anything against Blake Snell. Let me look this up. It started with a Tatis walk. So Tatis walks to lead off the inning. So you can tell at this point, I'm almost sure that means. No, I was going to say that Snell went 1, 2, 3 through every inning. Went 1, 2, 3 through the first. He went 1, 2, 3 through the second. In the third, he went 1, 2, and then there was that weird thing where Laureano. Okay, I need to back up. Laureano's on second base, and seems like he kind of gets hurt trying to get back to second base. He's not hurt. He's going to stay in the game. And like the next pitch or 2 pitches later, he gets thrown out from what appears to me. I know on the broadcast they had a different theory. My theory is that I think Laureano thought that A, Tatis struck out, and B, that was the third out of the inning. And so it wasn't. Laureano's just kind of jogging from second base to third base. He gets thrown out. So Blake Snell had in 3 innings had faced the minimum number of batters because of that. So Tatis leads off the fourth. He walks. Luis Ariz then bunts because this is now Mike Schilt, San Diego Padres thing. If the leadoff hitter gets on, the next hitter's going to bunt. Every single time they're going to bunt to get the guy from first base to second base. Everything I've ever read, everything I've ever learned says that's a bad idea. That's a stupid idea. You shouldn't be bunting guys from first to second. You shouldn't be giving away outs, et cetera, et cetera. But whatever. Let's look past that right now, even though they did it like 4 times tonight. Tatis walks. Arise sacrifices him to second base because apparently Tatis can't steal anymore. Machado hits a single. Tatis scores tie game. Great. Ryan O'Hearn hits a single. Machado goes to third. Great. Xander Bogaerts hits a sac fly to center. Manny Machado scores. Awesome. That's 2 runs. Those were the only 2 runs the Padres had, the only 2 runs the Padres needed. That was the game. This was not a great game for offense. If you came for offense, you may have left disappointed. But if you came for pitching, you got a lot of it because outside of that 4th inning, Blake Snell was fantastic. Really fantastic. The Padres are probably pretty lucky that he wasn't fantastic in that 4th inning because otherwise he was great. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, all of that given up in that 4th inning, in which I think he gave up 3 hits and a walk. So that's half his walks and half his hits in 1 inning. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. You guys are kind of quiet in the chat too, but just a good win from the Padres. I've been saying all week that I thought that was going to feel like a playoff game, a playoff series at Dodger Stadium last weekend. It did not. It did feel like a playoff environment tonight for whatever reason. I theorized on the podcast that the Padre fans are less freaked out and more just excited, and that would create more buzz in the crowd. Maybe I was right, maybe I wasn't. But there was definitely more buzz in the crowd, and seemed like the players fed off it as much as they could. Ryan O'Hearn going against a lefty, 2 for 3 with a strikeout. That was in his 3rd at bat. He came very close to going 3 for 3, all against lefty Blake Snell, as if to try and prove that he can hit left-handed pitching. He was the only guy in the lineup that had more than a single hit tonight. Fernando Tatis Jr. once again walked twice. He's now at the point where his on-base percentage is over 100 points higher than his batting average, which is a way to bring value when your bat's not doing great stuff. Manny Machado, as we mentioned, had a really good at-bat. Xander Bogaerts was not completely useless. He had the sac fly. Gavin Sheets was pretty good. The only thing that I walk away slightly concerned about was the thing where Laureano looked like he twisted a knee, or at first they were saying maybe he hyperextended the knee, and then there was thought maybe he twisted an ankle, maybe he was grabbing at his calf. Right now, the Padres really need Ramon Laureano to A, be healthy, and B, be good. And if that is an injury that's going to keep him out of the lineup or keep him from being really good, that would be disastrous, borderline disastrous. But hopefully it's just nothing. He played the rest of the game. He did not come out. So hopefully that's nothing. And hopefully this is just a good win that the Padres can try and piggyback on again tomorrow when it's Nestor Cortez going against this Dodgers lineup. Yeah, here's the guy saying Tatis didn't hit for much tonight. He didn't, but he walked twice and he scored a run. There's something wrong with his bat, his swing, something, but he keeps using his eye, his patience, his smarts to get on base, be effective, help score runs. Shohei Ohtani went hitless tonight. I thought that was a big part of the game. I was actually pretty concerned when Mason Miller was not facing him in the 9th inning. Mason Miller came in the 8th inning. He was a little shaky, but he got out of it. Robert Suarez pitched the ninth. I am unfamiliar with Robert Suarez's history with Shohei Ohtani outside of the fact that he hit him the last time he faced him. But Suarez got the job done. Ohtani hit like a 400-foot out to dead center. That was one of the loudest cracks of a bat I think I've ever heard. But no hits for Shohei Ohtani. 0 for 3. Anytime you can hold Shohei Ohtani to no hits, you stand a pretty good chance of beating the Dodgers. Mookie Betts looked good. Defensively, he had 2 or 3 like outstanding, almost Gold Glove level plays. Offensively, he seemed fine. Will Smith, I didn't check and see what Will Smith did in the series between the two Padres Dodgers series to see if he had a good series against the Rockies or whatever, but he was terrible, terrible in the 3-game series last weekend. I think he went 0 for the series. Tonight he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Uh, Dave Roberts, I know he's got a job and he's going to keep it, but Dave Roberts continuing to bat Will Smith third when he just continues to not show up in this situation is kind of startling. Although for the year he's still batting 300 with on base percentage over 400. So who am I to say? Freddie Freeman got a big hit in the 9th inning, as you knew he would. That's what he does. It was not enough. Thank goodness for the Padres. Teoscar Hernandez, just like Will Smith, also 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Like, I'm not going to say that's the game, but a big part of tonight's game was Teoscar Hernandez going 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Almost all of those seemingly in big pressure moments with not all of them with guys on base, but definitely towards the end. Same thing with Will Smith against the bullpen. So those guys kind of let the Dodgers down tonight, but that's fine by me. This guy Suarez is one of the worst looking closers I've ever seen, but he's got the devil's magic, so I'll take it. I don't know if he's one of the worst looking closers I've ever seen. There's some bad ones out there. If you're comparing him to, the Padres closers of the last decade, I honestly, there's like 4 guys that might be better than him. 3 guys that might be better than him. So I get it, or at least from an aesthetic point of view, it doesn't look like Josh Hader. It doesn't look like even, Houston Street or whatever. So, yeah. Suarez, it doesn't always look great. Like I said, Mason Miller has a bit of a reputation for being like the Ohtani stopper. Like he's faced Ohtani a handful of times, and every time he's like almost embarrassed him, and he's pretty much the only pitcher who does that. And so I thought there was a good argument for pitching Suarez in the 8th inning and Miller in the 9th because you knew that's probably when Ohtani was going to hit. Mike Schilt went a different way. That's fine. The Padres are tied for first place in the NL West. I'm not here to criticize. Not going to lie, Ohtani, I was overreacting like a Dodger fan to that fly out for a second. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like it was going out. The thing about Ohtani is like his home run swing just looks so nonchalant that when he does the nonchalant swing and you see it go flying off his bat, he had an out in the first inning, maybe the 3rd inning, that they said on the broadcast was 115 miles per hour off the bat. Like, I don't pay a ton of attention to how fast the ball comes off the bat, but 115 miles per hour off the bat is freaking insane. And Ohtani does it like all the time. But I was looking at this Dodgers team when they were rolling out the lineup, and I was like, they're really top heavy. Like, I'm not a big Teoscar Hernandez guy. So we can start with him or leave him, but like Michael Conforto is not good. Andy Pajes, I know he had a good series against the Padres, but he's not great. This Alex Freeland kid doesn't. I know he hit a home run. He's not great. This Kennedy kid who's filling in at third, Miguel Rojas. There's just the top 4 of their lineup is pretty scary, and, like, the bottom 5 of their lineup just really isn't. And so the top 4 of their lineup didn't do a lot tonight. 2 for, let's see, what's that, 12, 15, 2 for 15 with 3 strikeouts and a walk. That's good work by the Padres, who had hits sprinkled all throughout their lineup. And great work by you, Darvish. Great work by the bullpen. Great work by Freddie Fermin, who, like, is everything that AJ Preller could have hoped that he would be when he traded for him at the deadline. Same with Laureano. Same with Ryan O'Hearn to a certain extent. All these guys are performing at or above expectations, which feels like it almost never happens with the Padres. So, I could sit here and criticize Mike Schilt's decisions to bunt or to put Luis Ariz second in the lineup every day or whatever, but they're in first place and everyone's playing well, with the exception of Tatis. So eh, I'm just going to be happy. Yeah, the Dodgers are missing Kiki Hernandez. Max Muncy wasn't out there. Tommy Edman. Uh, yeah, they have the other Kim, not Ha-Sung Kim. It's very similar name to that. My apologies. But I know it is because I know people who've literally gotten uh, it mixed up, the two of them. Hae-Sung Kim. Apologies to him. A good baseball player. So, yeah, that's all I really got tonight. I know this has only been like 15, 20 minutes long, but this was a pretty straight ahead game. It was exciting. It was fun, but there's not a lot of analysis you can take out of it outside of the fact that Darren and I said earlier today that, like, we didn't even really mind if the Padres lost. We just wanted them to play like smart baseball and not look like they were crapping their pants. And outside of the Laureano thing where he was like jogging from second to third and seemed like he thought the inning was over, there was no mental mistakes. There was a lot of really good fielding. The play where Mason Miller had to got the double induced the double play and then fielded first base and had to pick the ball out of the dirt to complete it. Just a great defensive play. Um, the Padres played a good game. Laureano had one mental mistake. I think it probably had something to do with that weird injury, semi-injury he had running the bases right before that. But outside of that, everyone was locked in and everyone played a good version of their game. Uh, Good job. You proved once again that you were an elite home team. The Padres are, as I said, they're below 500 on the road. It's not by much, but they're below 500 on the road and 42 and 21 at home now. The Dodgers are a 500 team on the road. They're 32 and 32. So this series should work in the Padres' favor. And we're off to a good start. Hopefully they can get a good start from Nestor Cortez tomorrow and get back into that bullpen with a lead. We'll see. More Tyler Glasnow is not my favorite thing. He is a scary looking pitcher. The Padres don't score a lot of runs, but they do score runs consistently. Supposing what you mean by that is they don't get shut out often, which, if I'm thinking about it, sounds right. They used to get shut out all the time. I feel like it does not happen often anymore. The umpire reaction for the first base ump challenge on Fernando's check swing was suspicious. Kind of. I don't know. A win's a win. A win's a win. I'm going to get out of here. I no longer have any thoughts on this game that I have not already said into this microphone. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for everyone who hung out. Thank you for a Padres win. I hope they get another one tomorrow. If they do, decent chance I'm back here on Sunday, earlier in the day, doing some sort of post-game show. Until then, bye.